It's hard to believe that people used to decorate their homes with this. You'd never see these elements in modern-day interiors today. Yet, these 12 iconic trends from the past made the 70s truly unforgettable and set the style for an entire era. Watch until the end to see what Americans of the time were absolutely obsessed with. Carpeted walls and floors. Remember when carpets were everywhere? In the 70s, America was obsessed with creating a cozy atmosphere, and carpets covered not just floors but walls too. Yes, that's right, carpets on the walls, and it actually made sense. During cold winters, wall-to-wall carpets created a sense of warmth and protection, making homes feel more alive and comfortable. But that wasn't the only reason. Thick carpet fibers were excellent at absorbing sound, creating a quieter environment, perfect for large families. In fact, many wall carpets were used to cover old, uneven walls from homes built in the 50s and 60s. Back then, people in the US were known to hide any flaws in their homes, and carpets did the job perfectly. By the 1970s, more than half of American homes had at least one room with carpeted walls or floors. What's interesting is that carpets became so popular that they were even chosen in bold, sometimes almost garish colors and patterns. Remember those bright orange or green carpets? They were absolute classics. Wood and plywood paneling. In the 70s, America was completely smitten with wood paneling. Step into any home from that era, and wooden walls would greet you everywhere. Living rooms, bedrooms, even kitchens and bathrooms were clad in wood paneling. These panels added warmth, a cozy feel, and a touch of nature to the interior. Plus, they were an affordable option, especially plywood, which many people installed themselves. For homeowners, wood paneling was a lifesaver, easily hiding imperfect walls while creating a trendy, natural look. But, as often happens, the trend eventually wore out its welcome. By the late 80s, as light wallpapers and paint gained popularity, wood paneling became a relic of an outdated style and started disappearing from American homes in droves. Yet, there was something undeniably appealing about those wood-clad walls, a trend that, once you see, you're sure to remember. Macramé wall hangings. Macramé became an almost mandatory part of home decor. Remember those woven knots and braided patterns adorning walls? This art form became a symbol of freedom, handcrafted artistry, and even a bit of rebellion against mass production. Macramé absorbed the spirit of the hippie era: self-expression, natural materials, and unique handmade designs. Across America, people were either making macramé themselves or buying it in stores. Some intricate pieces could cost hundreds of dollars. For many homemakers, it was a way to make interiors cozier and more vibrant. These wall hangings were perfect for holding plants, bringing a sense of living nature into the home. Eventually, the trend faded and macramé vanished, but for a while, it became a true icon of natural comfort. So, what do you think of this trend? Round beds and rotating furniture. Round beds became an ultimate symbol of luxury and a bit of daring style. They looked so unique and eye-catching that many Americans dreamed of having this glamorous touch in their own homes. Often seen in movies, these beds fueled fantasies of a chic lifestyle. The round shape created a cozy, special vibe, more than just a bed. It felt almost like a stage. But that wasn't all. Many of these beds came with built-in radios and sometimes even ceiling mirrors. Round beds could rotate, adding that signature Hollywood flair to the interior. Rotating chairs and sofas were also popular in homes of the era, making spaces feel more dynamic and original. Despite all the luxury and allure, round furniture eventually went out of style, leaving behind a lasting impression of the 70s spirit. Yet another unforgettable hallmark of the time. Lava lamps. In the 70s, lava lamps were almost a must-have in any interior, especially for anyone wanting to bring a touch of mystery and cosmic atmosphere to their space. Although invented in 1963, It was during the 70s that lava lamps exploded in popularity and became a true sensation. Their soft light and mesmerizing, fluid movements inside captivated people, as heated paraffin wax would rise and fall almost as if it had a life of its own. These lamps could be found in bedrooms, living rooms, and sometimes even offices, creating a cozy mood, especially in the evenings. Flickering in the dark, a lava lamp could transport you to another dimension. You could easily watch it for hours. It became a symbol of an era when people were drawn to new, unusual things and wanted to add a little magic to the everyday. Among the quirky decor elements of that era, the lava lamp remains one of the most recognizable icons. What do you think of this choice from back then? Wallpaper with floral and geometric patterns. Wallpaper in the 70s was an explosion of color and shape. Walk into any home and you'd likely be met with walls covered in large flowers, geometric shapes, or even abstract patterns that instantly caught the eye. Many of these designs were inspired by the psychedelic culture of the 60s, bold, unusual, and almost transportive in their world of patterns. But not everyone stayed enchanted for long. Some of these patterns were so bright and complex that they became tiring, even irritating, after just a few months. Nevertheless, this style of wallpaper became a hallmark of American interiors of the time. Imagine a living room with vivid orange flowers, or a bedroom with wavy, hypnotic lines on the walls. Though the trend was soon replaced by more neutral tones, it still evokes both admiration and surprise today. Another must-have element of that unforgettable era. Vinyl and plastic furniture. This furniture was seen as a true breakthrough. Imagine lightweight, brightly colored chairs and sofas that were easy to move around and even easier to clean. Vinyl and plastic furniture became a symbol of modernity. It was affordable and encouraged bold experimentation with colors and shapes. Many Americans filled their homes with vinyl chairs and plastic tables, adding vibrant pops of color to their interiors. However, this revolutionary furniture had its downsides. Vinyl tended to crack quickly, and the bright colors of plastic faded under sunlight, so after just a couple of years, it often looked worn and outdated. Even so, plastic furniture was everywhere. From kitchens to living rooms, and even kids' rooms were full of these cheap but trendy pieces. It might seem amusing now, but back then, vinyl and plastic were genuinely seen as materials of the future. What other modern elements from that time do you think faded just as quickly? Hanging chairs and indoor swings. These became an absolute hit. Walking into a living room and seeing a hanging chair was almost commonplace. These chairs instantly caught the eye. Sitting in one felt like stepping into your own cozy little cocoon, gently swaying and incredibly comfortable. The first hanging chair appeared in 1968, and by the 70s, it had become a symbol of trendy interiors. Anyone looking to stand out wanted one in their home. But behind all that coziness lay one issue. Many hanging chairs, especially the cheaper ones, weren't very sturdy, and a single careless movement could lead to a fall. Still, the risk didn't deter anyone. People loved the sense of lightness and freedom they offered, adding a hint of adventure to the decor. What do you think of this interior choice from back then? Green and brown as interior mainstays. In the 70s, green and brown truly ruled interior design. Step into any home from that era, and you'd be surrounded by shades of avocado, olive, and rich brown. These colors weren't chosen by accident. America was embracing the natural tones to create a cozy, grounded feel, bringing a bit of the forest or fields right into the home. These earthy tones found their way into everything: green kitchen cabinets, brown carpets, wallpapers, and furniture. The natural tones offered warmth, but over time, this palette began to feel overly dark and heavy. By the 80s, green and brown had come to symbolize an outdated and even somewhat gloomy look. Still, there was something uniquely comforting about these colors that made a house feel like home. Built-in home bars. Built-in bars became the true star of home interiors. Walk into a house and in the corner or even right in the living room, there would be a mini bar ready to go, as if the hosts were always prepared for a party. This trend didn't rise by chance. America was swept up in a cocktail craze and the joy of at-home gatherings where anyone could play bartender. It was an era of vibrant drinks and relaxed vibes, where gathering around the bar became a ritual in itself. These bars were installed everywhere, from basements to living rooms, and some homes were even sold with pre-installed minibars. Everyone wanted a personal party corner, a spot to unwind and impress guests. But by the 80s, these built-in bars started to fall out of favor, giving way to a more minimalist and refined style. Another fascinating trend from that unforgettable time. Decorative mirrors with bronze and gold tints. These pieces were a true hit in home decor. They added a touch of sparkle and mystery, creating an atmosphere of luxury. Imagine a living room with a grand gold-tinted mirror on the wall. Not only did it reflect light, but it also visually expanded the space. At the time, people loved adding a bit of shine to their homes, and these mirrors were perfect for that. Often, these mirrors were quite heavy, making installation a real challenge. In some cases, professional help was needed to hang them above a fireplace or in the hallway. But the result was worth it. The mirror became a focal point, instantly adding style and depth to the room. Although the trend eventually faded, these mirrors remain an iconic symbol of that glamorous, bold era in design. Floor lamps with multicolored shades. Floor lamps with multicolored shades could be found in almost every other home. These lamps immediately caught the eye, with several long, arched arms holding vibrant shades in all colors of the rainbow. In the evenings, these lamps cast a soft, multicolored glow, a true disco effect that made rooms feel both cozy and lively. Turn on one of those lamps in the living room and it instantly felt like a party was starting. But these lamps had their downsides. With their complex construction, many moving parts and wires, they often broke, and repairs were difficult. They also weren't the safest choice for homes with kids, as children could easily tug on a cord or shade by accident. Despite these quirks, multicolored floor lamps became a symbol of the bold, playful design of the 70s. Today, these trends might seem a bit quirky, but they captured the spirit of the time and its love for self-expression. Which vintage decor trends would you like to see brought back into modern homes? And which of these do you think could make a stylish comeback?